I'll be making $100 on this catering order opportunity on the Dlivrd app, and I'll share it with you on this segment on the Gig Geezer. If this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, or if you're a returning visitor of the Gig Geezer, hey, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. This segment of the Gig Geezer is about my completing my 19th $100 or more individual catering delivery opportunity on the Dlivrd app. Sure, it would be nice to share having a round number, which would be 20, but in all, I have had altogether now I've had exactly 22 $100 or more earning days on the Dlivrd app. Now, I'm not trying to compare myself to anyone. This is just me sharing a number that I think may be worth talking about. I have seen drivers speak of their biggest Dlivrd order being $90. I've seen them talk about $150, but I can run laps around that because I have had multiple $100 or more catering opportunities. The one that I'm doing today is a $1,300 order that's going to the university's baseball stadium. It's at BJ's restaurant, and it's going to pay exactly $100. I was kind of surprised that I got the order because I thought that Dlivrd had forgotten about the old guy. I have gone through stretches in 2023 in which I've gone a couple of weeks without seeing an order on the app. I mean, nothing come to me whatsoever. But by and large, I can say that at least twice a month or more, but at least twice a month, I have seen $100 or more catering opportunities, and these started coming to me in October of last year. Now, I've not shared some of my biggest ones though, but my highest earnings week on the Dlivrd app has been $692. My second highest earning week has been over $500. My first $100 singular catering order opportunity occurred in October of last year, as I mentioned, and my first $100 earnings day on the app occurred September 21st of last year. On that day, I had two orders. One paid $95, and then the other one paid 20 some dollars, and it was like $115 earned that day. So let me preface that. Let me also qualify this by saying that I think it would be depending on the market, but also because of Dlivrd's growing popularity among the drivers. Dlivrd, number one, dispatches these orders individually. They don't put them out for some first one hit it, first one get it, like with DeliverThat. So the assigning team is aware of our individual metrics. They are aware of our capacities. They are aware of our history. And the best thing that I can say is that do not expect to be making $1,000 a week doing Dlivrd. The best thing that I would recommend with doing Dlivrd or DeliverThat is to treat it as an earnings option. Just when you think that, hey, you're getting into a nice little groove, that's when all of a sudden you may go a couple of weeks without seeing an order opportunity. In fact, there have been a couple of situations, like 2-3 weeks, I'd gone as many as 3 weeks without seeing an order, at least on 2 occasions in 2022. So when you get them, yes, you jump on them. When you get them, take into consideration how much it is. And by the way, the minimum commission that you will earn on a Dlivrd order is $20. You don't deal with a tip pool like with DeliverThat. A tip pool may be advantageous when you're dealing with customers who are notorious for not tipping or do not tip well at all. But I can tell you this, My highest paying single delivered order was $366, and I shared it on this segment of the Gig Geezer. In fact, it was a part of a day in which I made over $600, which was my second highest earnings day as a gig worker, or even as a cargo van operator. The highest paying day was when I did a Charlotte to San Antonio trip for $1,400 that paid over $1,400, and that was all. That's been all this year. I have had other $300 or more delivery opportunities on the Dlivrd app. I've had some $200 or more delivery opportunities on the Dlivrd app. But I've been rather somewhat reticent to talk about those things because I don't want to portray myself as someone who's in pocket with them when I'm not. Because as I just mentioned, I go stretches in which I don't see orders. In fact, what has been somewhat of the trend recently is that I may get 2 orders in a week, and they're not really the best of best orders. They're just order opportunities that keep me local. I will say though that if I were to see a consistent diet of delivered orders, if I had seen a consistent diet of delivered orders and the combination of DeliverThat orders, I probably would not have considered getting into a Sprinter/cargo van, because I would have gambled on the fact that, hey, the catering opportunities are better than running after DoorDash with their large order program opportunities, but the catering opportunities would provide such a nice bump in the day that it would take a lot of pressure off me meeting my goals or my expectations by working other apps. Since it didn't go that way, I'm glad that I did get the Sprinter/cargo van. I'm glad that I did go through the transaction for this, because again, it has given me a greater earnings capacity. And with that, I want to at least share a stacking opportunity that I put together earlier today. And then when I come back, we will talk about this exact catering opportunity. All right, this is a little background before the catering pickup for today, which is a $1,300 order from BJ's, and it is going to the university's baseball stadium, and the order is paying $100. Now, what I just showed you on the inset are the last 3 orders that I have actually in hand right now. I've managed to string together 3 orders. One is a point pickup for $18.35. That's going to be my last drop off in this stacking of orders. In fact, this is a good example of accepting less, earning more, working multiple apps, and stacking multiple orders across multiple apps. The roadie pickup is for $14.76. That is going to be my first drop off. And then I picked up a quick Instacart, 4 items for $14.06. All of them are sequential, actually, and along the way to each other. That's for $14.06. It was some beef jerky, some Gatorade, a watermelon, and frozen mesquite flavored grilled chicken. So all that together puts me at $107 and change going into the catering order. Now, I started off rather slow today. In fact, I tried to go after some roadie orders, and I kept getting not accepted. And then there were some Instacart orders that simply just didn't make sense. And so my first order that I actually completed was a Uber Eats. It was for $18.01, and that was somebody's breakfast. And from there, I was able to stack on a roadie that was for $42.22. In fact, here on the inset is the sheep wire that I unloaded. They were loaded on by forklift, but I was able to drag them off and then topple them over and then roll them over to the resting place per the customer's instructions. Now, driver that I've often mentioned in the Columbia, South Carolina metropolitan area, Steve, he said some stupid motherfucker got it for $42, and I said I was that stupid motherfucker. Now, he was thinking that that if you waited longer, it would probably go up to $45, $48, maybe $50. But on a day like this, in which the thirst is real. The thirst is real. Sometimes you can't do things according to your conventional wisdom. In other words, sometimes you have to make adjustments, and sometimes you have to take it for a little less than what you would normally wait it for. I think that if that was during the week, I could sit it out and it go up a couple of times more before accepting it. But I wanted to at least give some run up into the catering order. The other thing is that I'm now at about $1,470 for the week. The catering order is going to put me at $1,570, giving me the option really to stay out a little longer or work some more orders perhaps before the pickup time to get over $1,600 for the week. This will be at least the second consecutive week in which I made at least $1,500, and the fourth consecutive week in which I made at least $1,500. Other weeks, actually it's the fifth consecutive week. The other weeks I've made $1,700, $1,600, $1,800. So anyone who says that I'm wasting my time in a Ford Sprinter van, I challenge you to do the same thing, and particularly working in a market like Columbia, South Carolina. I've always said that you've got to give yourself multiple options. And while it is sexy to do things, try to catch opportunities which you get on the road regionally or really over the road, those opportunities they're not out there. At least the paying ones are not out there. And I'll give you an example. On Friday, there was a tender offer from this broker that I've been dealing with. This one broker. It was a tender offer, meaning that there was one sent directly to me first. I got first shot at it, at least what I think it was. It was going from Charleston to, I want to say, it was going from Charleston to Seneca, South Carolina. So it was going cross state. But a cross state drive like that was 250 miles. And that's where my daughter actually lived when she worked towards her master's at Clemson. So I know the area. But 250 miles, they're offering $200. I put in a bid for more than that. I put in a bid for like $275, which would give me some reason to say that, hey, I can at least try to catch something once I drop off the order. That bid was, or that counter offer was refused. And so someone took that order for $200. I didn't know, but like I said, someone took that order. So I'm doing what I think is best for me to remain viable as a Sprinter / cargo van owner, and to be able to pay for my note and my insurance. And I know that there's been a couple of folk who have derided me for maintaining the level of coverage that I have, but for what I'm trying to do, I am maintaining that coverage level because over time those opportunities are going to come to me in which they do require the $1 million coverage. And even though there was another venture that I've recently backed out of now, at least by choice. I've not told these son of bitches though because they hadn't paid me. Some of y'all know the one that I'm talking about. In fact, it's referenced in this segment of the Gig Geezer. They told me how having $1 million coverage is highly desirable, and that would put me at the front of the line with a lot of places. But you make decisions based on what you feel is best for you. And again, the minimum I know based on the FMCSA, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, and USDOT, when you have an MC number, is $300,000. I know what the minimum is. $300,000 liability coverage, $50,000 minimum cargo coverage. But yes, I could play around with the coverage levels to help with my premium. But I have had some opportunities, maybe not enough of them to justify maintaining that coverage, but it is still, at least for me, the best choice that I can make at this juncture. The thing is that this Sprinter/cargo van has given me a greater capacity of earning more money. And how does that translate? By the end of May, through May 2022, I made $32,800 and some change. It was like $32,800 in pennies. But that's what I made through May 31st, 2022 last year. This year I'm over $37,000, meaning that I am making more than 12%. I have made more than 12% than I did this time last year, and the month of May is not over. I don't think that I'll top 38,000, but if I got to 38,000, of course that would put me somewhere closer to 15%, but let's just say at least 12% more than I did last year. In fact, you can check out right there the actual graphics. So that tells me my strategy is working. Is it getting me exactly where I want to be? No, it's not. I mean, I've said it in the last Gig Geezer segment that I'm somewhere between 70 and 85% of the way there. I'm probably like 75% of the way there. And so if I'm 75% of the way there, that means that I really should be over like 40,000 this year. That's where I should be, but I'm not. Some of it could be the fact that I don't work as long of days as other people. And some of it could be that I've taken more days off or partial days off than I have in recent years. Now, some people find that hard to believe, but yes, it is true. I've taken off 3 days so far this month. I've worked 6 days. I've worked 6 days each week so far in May. Last month in April, I took 9 days off total, a combination of 9 days off total, and that reflected in me making $6,500 and change. This month I'm over 7,000. Probably I mentioned in a previous segment that it'd be more like 8,000. Is probably a 7,500 is probably going to be a more realistic number, but that still supports the fact that I'm averaging over 7,000 a month. 7,000 was like my best month ever 3 years ago. Now 7,000 is an average rudimentary month for me. So as I have placed higher expectations upon myself, which is one thing, the other part of it is that the increased earning capacity has also raised the minimum average, or raised the average now. So that's a good thing. I've got two more stops to make on this triple stack, and then when I come back, it will be sharing some insight on the catering order. Now, I just got notification from Dlivrd that I had a $3 adjustment in this order, so I'm making $103 on this order. I said that the average is like $5. That's a little below average, but that's not actually too far off. So, as I mentioned, this order took up 5 catering bags. I have 3 more bags that I have at my disposal. So, I've thought about getting another 3 or 4 more catering bags so I can have an upwards of 10, but I've held back on that one. I've kind of procrastinated on that one because, quite honestly, I've not seen a steady flow of catering orders to justify having those, and that includes the large order opportunities. On both apps, a large order, on the DeliverThat app, a large order is one that's over $600. And anything over $600 may require Dlivrd has the option of actually sending a second driver for an order like that. I've handled orders in upwards of $3,400 on Dlivrd, all by myself. And those, my initial large opportunities of $1,000 or more actually started with my F-150. But once I alerted them of the Sprinter/cargo van, I've handled orders in upwards of $3,400. And the one that was for $3,400, it was actually from Smashburger, and we're talking the entire back section, the entire cargo area being loaded with the Smashburger catering boxes for this a law firm that I delivered to. Now, that order was strictly, it was mandated by EasyCater that it had to fit into a van. And I had to send pictures of my van for a second time to Dlivrd, so they know that, hey, my van could handle this, which it did with no problem. I've noted in this particular segment of the Gig Geezer how size equals money, and in some cases size does equal money, even in the catering, even with the catering app opportunities. So that said, I am for the day. I did not mention the other two orders that I took in. They were on the Point Pickup app, in which I did back-to-back orders for $24.58, and then for $19.84. That brought me to $151 prior to this catering order. And so with the $3, that puts me about $254, and for the week about $16.18. Now, altogether, in terms of money earned so far in the month of May, my preliminary count is $7,115, and that still puts me on pace to make at least $7,500. Now, for whatever it's worth. I mean, I have my detractors who feel that they could do better and more, and there are people who probably do better and more. But I would love to see in the comment section if someone is doing more, because hey, I can learn too. I am not. This is one old dog that can learn a new trick if necessary. And with that, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer or in any other segment of the Gig Geezer, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. Prior to that $3,400 order that paid over $330, and by the way, prior to that $3,400 order that paid over $330, I invested in a much nicer dolly. I shared in a previous segment of the Gig Geezer how I invested in about a $60 hand truck that helped me out with one of my first big orders. It was like a $1,700 order. It's a damn gnat in here. It was a $1,700 order that paid $170, and I shared it in this particular segment of the Gig Geezer. And that one served a good purpose, but for some reason I felt that I needed something that was better. And this one is one of those 4-in-1 dollies, in that in addition to being a hand truck dolly, you can change the handles to where it's a flat one. And this is something like the UPS guys use, or the Federal Express guys use. And I used that dolly to transport those boxes. I had to make like two trips or 3 trips. They sent someone down to help out, so it was like 2 trips for him and 3 trips for me. But it worked, and it looks a lot more professional than the other hand cart. The hand cart wasn't bad, but the dolly, the way it looks, handles a little more. It handles more items, more bags. It's much quieter. It just comes across better. But with that, I'll get back with you after upon dropping off this order. And again, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer and any other segment of the Gig Geezer, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. All right, this would have been a situation whereby if I had a second camera or somebody taking, or someone filming me, I could have shown the handoff that took place between myself and members of the university's baseball team. Apparently, they're having their NCAA tournament selection party today. They know that despite them having an early exit in Southeastern Conference baseball tournament. They know that they're in the NCAA tournament. It's just a matter of what regional they'll be assigned to. So I've covered a couple of those back in the mid 1990s when I covered Clemson. In fact, throughout the 1990s, from the mid to late 1990s when I covered Clemson. In fact, I had in fact, Clemson was good enough to where they went to the College World Series back-to-back years back in 1995 and 1996. So I had a chance to go to Omaha back-to-back years. So I know the college baseball experience, so to speak. But anyway, so that was a pretty smooth handoff. In fact, a few of my catering order deliveries this week were to the minor league baseball team on the other side of downtown. In fact, I had two of them in the same day, and they were both delivered orders, in fact. And so on that day, I had 3 orders, and all three of them paid $88. It was something to keep me actually around town. I really wanted to kind of stay around town and not have to venture out elsewhere, and it worked out. But what I want to share too about Dlivrd as compared to DeliverThat, I mean, I have made far more money on the Dlivrd app with catering delivery opportunities than DeliverThat, and I've gone into that previously. But when we compare $100 earning days to DeliverThat, we're talking 22 to 1. I've had one $100 delivery day on DeliverThat, and it happened to be a fluke of a day. I had 5 orders that all were canceled by the merchant because they could not validate who had ordered them and who had paid them. And so DeliverThat, because they all occurred within 2 hours of the pickup time, I got paid 100%. So it was actually 4 of them. It was 4 of them. And so they all paid like $35 and change, like $35, $25, somewhere in there. So I made $140. My next best earnings day is $97, and that was 3 orders on the DeliverThat app. So take it for what it's worth. And then I've had like about 5 $70 plus earning days on the DeliverThat app. And actually, when it comes to best individual paying opportunities, DeliverThat, the most I've made on a single order is like $62, and that occurred like in July of last year. And most of the orders the better paying orders are gonna pay in the $40 range, but most of the orders, the greater majority of them, are gonna pay in the $30 to $39 range. So I've actually talked about that in another segment of the Gig Geezer. In fact, this is the segment of the Gig Geezer that I'm speaking of. When you compare it to like DoorDash, we like to make a big deal, or drivers like to make a big deal about the large order program. I've had only 1 order that paid over $100 on the DoorDash app, and that was during the former Drive program. That one surprised the hell out of me because it was going to a high school, and it was a Schlotsky's order that paid $149, and that included a $5 wait time for waiting over 30 minutes at the merchant before the order was ready. My second best individual paying opportunity on the DoorDash app as it relates to catering opportunities occurred Cinco de Mayo 2022 when I had one that paid $89, and that was from Chipotle. So when people make a big fucking deal out of $50, $60, $40, $50, and $60 catering opportunities on the DoorDash app for a large order program opportunity, I've seen better. I've seen orders that paid less than $100, but more than that $40, $50, $60 on the Dlivrd app. So if you're interested in being onboarded with Dlivrd, if they have openings in your market, you can click the link in the comment section below, the link that I provided in the comment section below. And if you're interested even in DeliverThat, you can click that link in the comment section below. So that's all I have for this segment of the Gig Geezer. If you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm in Wood Lane, and as always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.